Hey everybody, thanks for visiting my YouTube and checking in. I have quite an interesting topic today. It's about time for me to talk about this because everybody is in quarantine and kids are home and they're stumbling upon things they should not be because some parents are just like leaving things open and forgetting to erase their history and just forgetting altogether that, and not even forgetting, I think parents are just overwhelmed, right? So you got all this stuff you're trying to do, work from home, take care of the kids, clean, cook, make sure they log on for their Zoom classroom, and all the hundred other things that you are doing as parents. So I definitely understand, right? So this is not coming from a place of blame at all. It's just coming from a place of, hey, parents, when you're trying to juggle all of this stuff, just remember that your kid is probably a little bored. They're probably just like you, tired of staying in the house and getting into things they shouldn't be. So if things are left open on the screen or history is not deleted, we live in an age of technology, right? This is stuff that my mom didn't have to worry about this, okay? She was not worried about me looking at her browsing history, but what she did have to worry about was me finding her pornography, like her VHS tapes. Because when I was growing up, there wasn't even DVDs, or unless we couldn't afford it. Maybe there was DVDs. I wonder, I'm gonna have to ask my mom. I think there was more or less, I remember VHS tapes and I remember finding them. And if you remember finding your parents' stuff, comment below and tell me, were you traumatized? Like what? So I know my mom, my dad, they did not talk to me about sexual health, and that is partly the reason why I'm a sexologist, because I was just uninformed. Like the streets educated me, but that was the wrong education. Thumbs down, mom and dad, like, hello. But anyway, you can't go back and erase the past. All you got to do is learn from it, grow from it. And what I try to do is help people make informed decisions, adolescents and just parents too, because sometimes parents are really overwhelmed and they're not really in a place where they want to talk to their kids about anything related to sexual health. And it's not even intercourse. And I try to explain that to my parents because they get like freaked out, like, oh my gosh, no, I don't want to talk about sex. And I'm like, well, we got to start somewhere, but it won't be intercourse. You just can't start with intercourse. So just remember that your kids are home and they are looking on the internet and they are finding things they may not supposed to be, looking at. So put on those, those filters, put on those different restrictions on your online, on their laptops, on their iPads, on their phones. Restrict access to certain websites and certain things. And also, I think you can do like a time frame. Your kids can have this time frame on these websites. It's really detailed. Like I said, technology is amazing. So you can actually do a lot of things to limit your child's exposure to pornography. I have this book. It's amazing. I actually use it when someone comes to me who wants to talk to their kid about pornography. It's called How to Talk to Your Kids About Pornography. See? And it's amazing. Educate, empower kids. I love this book, right? So this book is really good if your kid was exposed, right? Even if they weren't, it's really good. So some of the facts, the average exposure to pornography is 11. Did you know that? It's 11 years old, according to research. And there was a study done, 50 most popular adult videos found that 88% of these adult videos contained like vulgar stuff, like scenes like physical aggression, which would be vulgar for your kid, right? So if this is something you're into, then this is what you're into. But for your 11-year-old kid, it's not something that their brain is ready to to kind of see. You got to think about the developmental cycle. And when you're 11, your brain is not comprehending fully, like if you see a scene where slapping, gagging, choking, things like that is going on in a porn scene. But this is what they're finding kids are looking at when they are exposed at 11 years old to pornography. So I don't want to go give you too much information, because I think that is where you could start. You could start by putting filters on your kids' stuff. Like, hey, let me go look at my kid's history. Let me erase my history. Let me figure out if my kid was exposed to pornography by a mistake, if it was outside of the house, if it was in the house. You could have a kid watching porn every day and you don't know. So what needs to happen if that is going on is a conversation. Like, you need to explain to them that this is not real life. Like, this is fake. So the slapping, the gagging, the choking, like this type of stuff is, or spanking, because their brain, even at younger, I've had clients who've come to me with their, 6-year-olds, 4-year-olds who stumbled upon pornography, and now they're lost for words. They don't know what to do because they think these people are getting beat up, and they're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Is that going to happen to you, mommy? So, you have to kind of help with some of that trauma that they just experienced in the developmental cycle that doesn't allow them to understand that it's not real. So you just need to explain to them. You need to have a conversation. So with the 4 and 5-year-old, it's a little bit more difficult. However, with this book right here, it won't be difficult because this book walks you right through it. It's amazing. Okay. So it talks about curiosity being normal. Your kid is curious. Like, you were curious, weren't you? I know I'm still curious. I still have a great imagination, even at almost being 50 years old. Like, so you gotta just understand that curiosity is normal. Your kids are going to look for, what are my parents watching? What are they doing when they go online? What are they looking at? Right? So, just know this if you stumble up on this, or if you ask them this question, that you're going to open up a conversation, right? It depends on what age they are. Just remember, you're going to really just try to open the lines of communication around what they think they already know, right? Because it's probably wrong if you haven't educated them. So I'm talking to my parents or my guardians, people who are raising kids who have not spoke to their kids about sexual health related topics, and pornography is one of them. And, we're in quarantine, and pornography is something that, your kid could be stumbling on. So just remember that. So I just jumped on here today to talk about talking to your kid about pornography, and why it's important if, they've stumbled up on it. All right. So if you have any questions, put it in the comments. Please be nice. Love Energy lives here. And I will see you next video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and watch my other videos. All right. Peace.